What's up, TechHeart? Tonight, we're going to take a look at two pretty cool M4 Mac Mini docks. Or is it a hub? I think it's a dock, a hub, whatever. It gives you more ports, more selection, and it lets you add storage. Because that's the biggest problem with all of our M4 Mac Minis if we didn't pony up and pay the piper, Apple. This is a mini dock. It's a $60 device, and it's a vertical dock. So your Mac Mini goes in there vertically, and we'll see that a little later. It's pretty nice. It has 7-port expansion. It is 10 gigabits per second, so it's not Thunderbolt 4, but that's reflected in the price, 60 bucks. On the front, it has two 10 gigabit USB-A ports. It has SD and TF card readers, and it has a 3.5 millimeter jack. On the rear, there's one PC-in cable, and it comes with this little dinky USB cable so it can plug into your Mac Mini. And I'll have to note, this is a pretty nice cable. It's all braided, and it's pretty nice. I like that it's short, so it doesn't hang off too much. And this is just going to be our basic vertical hub. It also has NVMe on the bottom, so you can add a hard drive, and it can take any NVMe hard drive. And then we take a step up, and this puppy is pretty cool. It's a mini RAID. It does cost more at $140 or some odd dollars. Pretty nice device, and it has more ports. There's 9 different ports on this bad boy. On the front, it has SD and TF card readers. It has a 10 gigabit USB-C, audio jack, a 10 gigabit USB-A, and a 5 gigabit USB-A. On the rear, this one does have DC power, so you're going to have to power this puppy. And then it has a 60-watt USB-C, a PD60W. This is our RAID key. This one takes 2 NVMe drives inside, and we can run a RAID 0, a RAID 1, a PM, or a clone. And we're going to talk about that. We might be able to get better speeds from this puppy. It also has HDMI. So if you wanted to run 2 HDMI monitors on your Mac Mini, this is a way to do it. And then it comes with a 1 gigabit per second Ethernet, which I thought was kind of weird because on the Mac Mini there's already an Ethernet port, either 1 gigabit or 10 gigabits. But you could use this with other computers. Say you had a laptop that you're messing around with, plug it in this bad boy, and it'll be a 1 USB-C cable to get that other device rocking and rolling with Ethernet. Both of these come with an NVMe cooler, little sticker you put on top of the NVMe, and screws to lock that puppy down. So I'm going to dive on over to the desk, and we're going to dig into both of these and see exactly what they can do. Let's go, man. Orico, they're better than other brands. Okay, let's dig in. So, we do have the Orico Mini RAID, which is going to be the star of the show. But before we get to that, let's take a quick look at the Orico Mini Dock. This is a very cheap, inexpensive dock, and it takes an NVMe SSD, so we'll be using that. The second one will be for the RAID unit. And let's take a look at it in more detail. I like the USB cable that comes with it. It's braided and it's very short, and I think that will be good. Plugs into the back like so. It'll plug into our Mac Mini right up there. We already went through this, but 3.5 millimeter jack, 2 10 gigabit USB-As, SD card reader, and an extra USB-C on the back. But it has an NVMe port. In the box, we got extra screws, or screws anyway, an NVMe thermal pad, a booklet, straight from China, and a nifty little screwdriver. So let's get to screwing. What we'll do here is we'll take the Orico Mini Dock and we'll get a baseline speed of how fast this USB-C 10 gigabit connection gets us on our NVMe stick. We're using a Samsung 980 Pro, so that should be pretty fast. That's not going to be our bottleneck. Let's get it installed. Just put that puppy in there. And this one does have a metal screw base. That's good. Get one of the screws. Okay, are they all the same? No, they're not. I think it's one of these bigger ones. I think. Yeah, because the other ones are triangle at the top. Oh, don't lose it. We'll go ahead and get this screwed in. Don't need to block the camera. Okay. So we have our Samsung 980 Pro. We'll use the included thermal pad. Don't forget to peel the stickers, like so. That can go right on our NVMe. Nice. And I'll try to peel the other one. Like that. Boom! Now we'll get this heatsink put on. Hopefully it makes good contact. Yeah, I can feel it. Use the other screw. Okay, so that's our 1 terabit stick in there. Put these screws away so we don't lose nothing. Perfect. Let's see how the Mac Mini will look in this bad boy. I don't know which way it goes. I guess our USB ports are here, so would it go that way? It's got a nice fit. It doesn't have like a round indentation back here, but these are kind of padded. They're like padded rubber. And when it goes in, it's a tight fit. Not a super tight fit, but it's a tight fit. Now in the rear over here, we can take this puppy. I want to flip it the other way. Like that. And you just kind of plug it in there. So we can still have our monitors and whatnot. And yeah, you guys like that? So with this, we still have the 3 USB ports that our original Mac Mini would have had. That's cool. And we add all these front ports, 2 extra USB-As. But let's go see the speeds we can get from our NVMe installed in the Orico mini dock. Okay, so we've got the dock installed. First, I'm just going to erase that disk. It shows up down here as a Realtek RTL. So I'm going to format that to the Orico mini dock. What we'll name it. There we go. Now our disk shows right up here. It's a 1 terabit disk. We can get some info on it just to see. Boom. 1 terabit disk. Let's see our speeds. We'll use an app called Amorphous Disk Mark. This tool does a better job than some others. So let's select our Orico mini dock and we'll choose it. There we go. And let's do all tests. That's about to be expected, right around 1,000. 1027, I'll take it. Sequential reads are at 403, and sequential writes are at about 865. We're eking it out. Random read test. Let's go. Random reads are right at about 230. Uh-oh, we're falling on our face for the random writes. Coming back. 108. We'll do a random read, I think that is. 45, 46. And finally, random writes are about half, right around 23. The main one up here is the sequential, right around 1,000, and that's what's to be expected. But let's practice in real life. I just created 2 files on the desktop, 5 gigabits and 10 gigabits .image. Let's copy one over to the Orico mini dock. Took about 5 seconds. Let's copy the 10 gigabit file over. Still almost felt about 5 seconds, maybe a little more, but that was bearable. So there we go. We've got our Orico mini dock running at around 1,000 megabits a second. Now, let's pull out the big guns. We have the Orico Mini RAID. Again, with more ports on the front and back, and that awesome RAID option. And what does that mean? Well, we pop the top, we can see in this bad boy, we have 2 NVMe slots. So we can install both. They've given us screws and a thermal pad, if I can just get in there. There we go. I'm gonna spill it. Okay. This one comes with 2 thermal pads, a key for something, maybe for setting those dip switches. Is that all that's for? Or there's actually a little set hole there. So I think we use that to set here in a minute. But I'm going to get these installed. This mechanism uses these little clips that are like no screw clips. We'll kind of insert this thing into our SSD, our NVMe like that. We'll twist it to kind of the right angle. Make sure we get it in the hole, and then we'll twist. All right, that's easy. Let's try that again for the viewers at home. Yeah, just goes in there, you get it. Get it in there straight, boom. Then just install, push down, through the hole. There's the hole, and then we'll just twist. Simple pimple. Again, we're going to make sure we peel these little puppies. Oh. One SSD. 2 SSD. Nice. There's the heatsink. And now we've got both of our SSDs installed. And let's see how this will look with our Mac Mini. It can either set directly on top like this, and that's how I think it's meant. There's little padded feet in between, and so that's kind of what we're going for. I think that looks pretty fancy. Looks nice. Let's see if we can do it the other way. I don't think it's meant to be this way. I mean, I guess you probably could, but it's just plastic on top of the Orico. So there's your two options. I guess either one would work. I'm just going to run it with their little rubber feet here. And Bob's your uncle. Now, for this one, I'm going to show you the different RAID modes. I believe that one of the modes we can set so it goes faster. First, we'll just test it out as 2 drives. Let's go over to the computer. Don't forget your set tool. Okay, so the first setting we have on the Orico Mini RAID, I put the pins number 1 in on position and number 2 in off, which equals RAID 1. On the side of the device, you can see the lights that show that we're running in RAID 1. Okay. And we can see down here the external drive. Let's go ahead and erase that. We'll call it Mini RAID, RAID 1. Okay, that's using both NVMe disks we have in there, so 2 1 terabit disks to make up one 1 terabit disk. And a RAID 1, the 2 hard drives in the enclosure mirror each other, providing excellent security without enhancing performance. Meaning, we can lose one of our drives and all of our data is still secure. This is the safest method, but it's not the fastest. Let's pull up our disk tool and run a test. We'll select Mini RAID RAID 1 and we'll see speeds similar to the mini dock. Let's let it finish up, shall we? Okay, that looks like it performed a little bit slower than the mini dock. Still, we're pulling around 921 and 877, which is okay. We can use that. So I flipped those dip switches to 1 off and 2 on, and now we're in RAID 0. RAID 0 combines the capacities of all hard drives in the enclosure to enhance performance. However, if either of the hard drives fail, your data's dead. But let's see how much speed we can increase. Let's format the drive. We'll call it Mini RAID, RAID 0. And there we are. Let's pull up the speed test and run it, baby, on Mini RAID, RAID 0. Let's go! So, check that out. On RAID 0, we get 931 reads and 1030 writes. That's a little bit faster, but it's not a lot faster. However, if you want to use 2 SSDs in conjunction with each other and get double the storage space, this is a good option. Either way, we're getting around 1,000 read and writes on either RAID mode, and I think that's pretty cool. All right, let's catch up in the outro, baby! TechHeart 6090 going for the outro. So, we checked out these Orico docks, and they were pretty cool. Now, we're on the USB 3, 10 gigabits a second docks, and for me, they work pretty good. Out of this really cheap one, we got like 1,000 megabits per second write and read. And for me, that's cool. Listen, I'm a new YouTuber and I do 4K videos, but 1,000 megabits is doable. I can edit my videos in DaVinci Resolve. And for most people's stuff, this is fast enough. Now, if you want to move into a RAID where you install 2 SSDs and either get more capacity, you can go up to 16 terabits. What would Apple charge you for that? Forget about it. Or you can go to 8 terabits and use a RAID 1 so that you have redundancy. And you can lose one of your drives. So if that's something you need, go ahead and pay the extra money. But I'm pretty happy about both of these Orico hubs, and I think they're cool. We're going to check out more hubs on this channel for the M4 Mac Mini super soon. So, come along, hang out, let's have a good Thanksgiving, and for now, TechHeart out!
Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave.